Namaskar. Hello friends. Today I am starting a new podcast in which I will share the essence of my understanding of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, also referred to simply as the Gita, is the most revered of Indian scriptures that comprehensively presents the highest spiritual philosophy in the Indian tradition. It is believed to be told by Lord Shri Krishna to Arjuna on the Mahabharat battlefield of Kurukshetra. Just before the epic war between Pandavas and Kauravas was to begin, Arjuna was suddenly overcome by confusion about whether it was right for him to fight and kill his own cousins and other relatives, as also his revered teachers, that is, gurus, and other elders who were standing opposite him as his enemies. As a result, he dropped his weapons and sat down in his chariot in a completely distraught mood. It was then that Shri Krishna, who took upon himself the job of being Arjuna's charioteer, preached the complete spiritual philosophy by way of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. It helped Arjuna understand clearly what this creation is and what the purpose of human life in it is. He could then proceed with fighting the Mahabharata war as a duty in a detached manner. The power of the Bhagavad Gita philosophy is tremendous. One who reads or listens to it in complete faith and with total devotion gets liberated from the bondage to the bodily identity. Arjuna had been completely overwhelmed by moha, that is, attachment and wrong notions of me and mine, at the beginning, and he had refused to accept Shri Krishna's initial arguments. But later, as Shri Krishna unfolded the profound spiritual philosophy, even that otherwise extremely debilitating moha of Arjuna completely vanished, and he became ready to act in accordance with Shri Krishna's preaching. This also drives home the potent influence of a true guru on his disciple. We can understand this as a change in the relationship between Arjuna and Shri Krishna as the Gita progresses. Initially, Arjuna was still seeing Shri Krishna as a friend and relative. Then gradually he realized that Shri Krishna was divine incarnated and hence accepted him as his guru. Shri Krishna also then put in his all into his preaching and revealed all that is worth knowing in spirituality. In fact, Shri Krishna even granted his Vishwarupa Darshan to show Arjuna that everything is just one, namely the divine, and nothing exists apart from him. No wonder Arjuna's moha disappeared totally. This podcast is an attempt by me to share the practical essence of the Gita as digested by me. The philosophy put forth in the Gita is a philosophy for living that can be used by anyone and everyone in whatever life situation one may be in. As such, one can certainly pick and choose one or the other concept that may be appropriate to his individual situation from time to time. It also specifies different spiritual paths that can suit different people with their own different temperaments and nature. The beauty of the Gita philosophy is that it dismisses the core concepts of organized religions, namely the ideas of papa, that is sin, and punya, that is righteous credit, and the carrot and stick of heaven or hell after death. Instead, it focuses on an individual righteousness called swadharma as the means to a blissful life leading to liberation. Swadharma is understood as an individual way of life that suits one's makeup and life situation while being in God consciousness. It does not stipulate what to do or not to do, but rather advocates the right mental attitude to living as exemplified by one of the core philosophies of the Gita, namely karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, meaning you have a right to only your action and not to the outcome of it. It clearly downplays the importance of rituals when it says that God is pleased with the sincerity of his devotee while worshipping him, and that God does not need nor does he bother about what materials are offered in the worship. That makes the Gita universal without being appropriated by an organized religion like Hinduism. The last verse of the Gita is said to be Purnodgar, namely, that is the perfect statement. It is said to have the complete essence of Gita. It conveys that Shri Krishna is the divine incarnate, and after he preached the supreme spiritual philosophy to his beloved disciple Arjuna, the latter also became divine. It was thus a double benefit to Pandavas, and hence they were sure to emerge victorious. In the context of us ordinary seekers in the modern world, it can be understood to mean that if we are under the grace of a true Guru, we can also emerge victorious in the struggle of worldly life, not in a worldly sense, but in a spiritual sense. We will be spiritually unhurt in the battle of life and will successfully come out of it blissfully. This podcast is organized into different episodes based on the various concepts that are put forth in the Gita. Often spiritual or philosophical writings are too theoretical, where to explain one abstract term, another equally abstract term is used. So in this podcast, I am instead presenting the concepts with a focus on what they mean in actual worldly life and how exactly to put them into practice, primarily by way of the right mental attitude. I will stop here, and after this introduction, in the next episode, I will start with the actual concepts that the Gita brings up. Thank you. Bye. Take care.